Hey, so check this out, everybody. Obviously, we keep saying so many things are happening. News in 15 minutes or less, and there is a lot that is going on. I mean, so many different things to share with you. Jamie Riskin saying, hey, Congress can make sure that Trump will not become president. We'll get to that if we got enough time to. Minnesota First Lady, you know, the VP Kamala Harris, her pick for VP, that guy's radical. He's more radical than she is. And wait till you see what his wife has said, because BLM, the center of the riots, the epicenter was Minnesota. Unbelievable. Anyways, also I'm going to show you this. Well, in fact, I'll show you this right now. Check this out. This is a picture of this guy with Ilhan Omar. So this is VP Harris's running mate with Ilhan Omar. And look at this picture. Let's go, just the evil that is here. And I'm warning you, we have got to wake up to what's going on. All right, I'm going to show you a short video here in just a second. I mean, we still got to get to Israel, the economy, like I mentioned yesterday about the economy. Listen, we're not in Revelation chapter 6 yet. I'm going to share with you Matthew chapter 24, verse 44, which we really need to be aware of. So, but we got a lot to roll through here in the 15 minutes or less. All right, check this out. First thing I want to show you here, it is in Britain. We've been watching all of the riots that are taking place. Check this out. This guy is being arrested. I'm going to show you a short clip of it. You can see a much longer one. I'm going to show you a short clip. This guy literally, listen to what the police say. They are arresting him as they're putting on the gloves for his offensive comments on Facebook. And not just offensive comments. Some people have said your comments are offensive. Therefore, that's why you're arresting me? Yes, watch this.
So I'm actually being arrested?
You're going to be arrested, okay?
Right.
So back to the police station.
Right.
Okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page. Okay?
Oh, really? Oh, it's a Facebook crime, is it?
Okay.
Right.
So we need to ask you some questions about that.
Right.
Okay. You look at that, and you're thinking, would this ever happen to America? What do you think? Commie Captain Kamala in her VP pick, if they become president? I mean, how did we end up in this place? Would they do something like that? Yeah, she's already said that she would, with the executive order, she'd take away all of our guns. I mean, you look at this, you go, this is just insane. These things are happening. As I look what's going on in Great Britain right now, first thing comes to my mind, it's Hitler's brown shirts. If you don't do what we tell you to do, if you don't shut your mouth and go along with the narrative, guess what? We're sending in the brown shirts. They're doing it there. Do you think they're going to do it here? I'm saying, folks, you better believe that they're going to do it here. But that is not all. A lot more to share with you regarding Commie Captain Kamala, right? Check this out. Her VP pick, his wife, watch her comments regarding the BLM riots. Watch this, and how the smell, the smell from the smoke, she opened up the windows. Watch this.
I would say those first days, you know, when there were riots, I could smell the burning tires. And that was a very real thing. And I kept the windows open for as long as I could because I felt like that was such a touchstone of what was happening.
All right. Did she say that she just had the doors open because she loved the smell of it, or was she just making a comment? This is the way it was. Folks, there is so much, you decide. But regardless of that, there's so much dirt that is coming out on this guy. This guy, it's hard to believe he could be worse than Kamala. But folks, I'm telling you right now, he is. Okay, with that, now I'm going to show you Jamie Ruskin. What's he say? He says, hey, Congress, regardless of what you think about Trump, regardless of that, I want you to understand what he says. It appears that what he's saying is with the 14th Amendment, Congress will make sure that Trump will not become president. This is the way I interpret it, even if the voters vote for him. And the problem is the Supreme Court doesn't do their job. So therefore, this is just going to happen. He says, January 6, 2025. I mean, you watch this, and I mean, all these different things we are just rolling with in the news. Check this out. I'll just show you a short clip of it. You'll get the idea of what is going on there.
Quickly, and the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress, so it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means.
All right, but I'm not done yet. There's much more to say. Okay, check this out, because we have to get to some of this other news. Unbelievable. So Venezuela is going to create re-education camps for political dissidents. You're going, wait a minute, this is happening there. We see it's happening in the UK. We know about Kamala Harris and her VP pick. How all of this shakes out, I don't know. Could it be that, I can't believe that the handlers of Kamala Harris would actually think they're going to win, but maybe it's like Riskin says, hey, even if Trump wins, we're going to make sure he's not president. I mean, you look at these things, you're going, you've got to be kidding me. Nevertheless, what else do we have? Check this out. White House is in an around-the-clock push against the Mideast war. The White House is. Okay, now let me just put some context into this for everybody. We see what is escalating with Iran and even with Russia to some extent and Turkey. All right, we watch all of that, so a lot of people are saying this is Ezekiel 38. Folks, I'm telling you, it's not Ezekiel 38. Notice the White House is still involved. I personally think the White House just wants war, although it's just going to create more problems. But we look at this in Ezekiel 38. Understand, in verse 11, the Bible tells us that the attack coming from Iran with these other troops is going to be at a time when Israel's dwelling in peace and safety. If you followed any of my Bible teachings for a while, I've talked about this. The problem is the Hebrew word used there for peace or peaceful people literally means tranquil. The attack coming from Iran or Russia comes at a time when Israel, it's unexpected. It's an unexpected attack when they are living in tranquility. That is not now. Israel is on guard 24/7 for what's coming right now. And they're not in tranquility either. So this is not Ezekiel 38. Could be something else. I'll save that for a Bible study coming up. IDF, look at this. Preps for infiltration ground assault. Looking at this also, what does that mean? Well, in Ezekiel chapter 38, the other dynamic that we have is that it talks about an invasion coming from the sky above, coming from the clouds, and also it does talk about a ground invasion. So very interesting. They're coming in with horse and bucklers. So when we see things like this, it gets our mind thinking maybe this is what is going on here. Yet at the same time, it's as I said just a minute ago, we're not in verse 11 yet. It's not a peaceful people, not in tranquility. Israel's totally expecting everything to break loose at any moment. And they're even considering, look at this, preemptive strike as Israel weighs options, as Iran vows imminent revenge. And quite frankly, there's even more to add to that. Not only that, check this out also. Got to share with you one more thing here regarding this. So Israel, this is from fresh off the press, Israel prepares for potential Iranian nuclear threat. Interesting, as Iran has been saying, as my friend has sent me this message, and he's right. He says, Kevin says, hey, here's the deal. Iran keeps saying, hey, this isn't for war. We have our nuclear things that we're working on. It's just for energy and peaceful purposes. Suddenly they're saying, oh, we're going to shift it all over for war purposes to attack Israel for what Israel has done. So we have all of these different dynamics that are taking place. And I'm going to share something else with you too, because you got to keep this in mind. The stock market crashed the other day, and if you watch that news podcast, I said, listen, we're not in Revelation chapter 6 with the rider on the black horse where you have an economic collapse. We're not there yet, all right? a day's wage for a loaf of bread. We're not at that place yet. An economic collapse that just destroys the global economy, but it is being threatened. And I said, we're not there. Could an economic collapse happen that's not yet the one of the tribulation? It could. It definitely could. However, I want you to keep this in mind. In Matthew chapter 24, in the very same passage where Jesus says no one knows the day or the hour, in that passage, as that section is closed out, verse 44, Matthew chapter 24, verse 44, Jesus says that the Son of Man comes at an hour when you do not expect it. The implication there is dynamic, because right now everybody in the world is expecting something to go wrong. They're waiting for the next shoe to drop. This is going to happen or that's going to happen. Jesus saying, hey, it's going to happen in an hour when nobody expects it. So something has to give, whether it's before the rapture or after the rapture. I do not know, but something is going to give. Something's going to change. The dynamic's going to change. That's going to make people think, all right, everything's been fixed, at least temporarily. Israel's going to be dwelling in peace and security. Peaceful people, right? The economy, all of a sudden, we're not going to be on the edge like we are right now. So something has to happen. Again, it could happen after the rapture. It might happen before. We could end up in CBDCs. There could be a financial collapse that puts us there, but then gets people to think, okay, everything is chilled out. This massive war threats coming from Iran, something's going to happen there in Israel, I'm telling you. Some is going to happen. But Israel has to get to a place of dwelling in peace and security. So out of the current events, Gaza, Hezbollah, Iran, Israel's going to get to this place where they're going to be feeling good. I can lay down my arms, my weapons, and they're going to be dwelling in security. So when I think of Matthew chapter 24, verse 44, the Son of Man does not come at an hour when you least expect it. I'm thinking, dynamic's going to change. I don't know if it's going to change tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to change 6 months from now or a year from now, before the rapture, after the rapture, but it has to change if the Bible is going to be fulfilled the way that it says. And I do believe the Bible's going to be fulfilled just as the Bible says. Listen, thanks for joining me here on location again as I'm speaking up here, as we're making our way to Alaska. My next broadcast will be from Alaska, actually. Looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. God bless, and I hope that you will also join me today, 2 o'clock on the app exclusive with David Fioroso. Listen, this is great. First time ever I got to be with him. He's going to be on my program. Listen, check it out, 2 o'clock on the app. Also, 1 o'clock today is the Tom Hughes Report right here on all locations of hopeforourtimes.com. God bless you guys.